Hello, and welcome to Support for Stressful Times. I'm Weiser Cornell. The times are still stressful. And it's really nice to have this time together where we can give each other support during this time we're going through. Maybe life itself. Yeah, you know what? Life itself is stressful. Stressful to be human in a world where we're vulnerable. Today I want to talk about vulnerability. I want to talk about courage and vulnerability. Recently, I was in a kind of action block. Do you know about action blocks? That's when there's something you really want to do, but you're not doing it, starting to feel more and more like a problem, well, this was about an article I'm writing. There isn't a deadline. That's a problem. I love deadlines. There isn't a deadline for this one. It's just something that would really, really help the mission of spreading the word. The word we're spreading in these webinars, that it's okay to pause and sense how you are and then bring acceptance to however you're feeling. Well, anyway, about this article, I wasn't doing it. And then I noticed there was something vulnerable about writing the article. That really helped because I was able to acknowledge something in me feeling vulnerable about writing the article. And when I did that, something happened. I could feel a kind of, okay, I can do this anyway, kind of rising up in me. And we could call that a kind of courage. Because courage is not the lack of fear. You know that, right? Courage is not the lack of fear. It's doing it anyway. It's finding your forward life energy despite parts of you that are scared and want to hide. Well, I thought maybe today we could sit together here and be open to vulnerability and courage because we need both. To be acknowledging our own vulnerability is like it's like a powerful presence in life as it is. If I try to not be vulnerable, I'm gonna block out life. I'm familiar, I think many of us are, with the behaviors we can get up to when we try to not feel our feelings, including trying not to feel vulnerable. So let's do this together for a little while. Pausing. It always starts with pausing. Being aware of your body right now. Sometimes I forget my body. It's like, oh, right, I have a body. Be aware of your body right now. What's the easiest thing to feel about your body? I always find it's easy just to feel the support under me, to feel my contact with what I'm sitting on. You're probably sitting, but it's okay if you're standing or lying down. But in any case, you have some kind of contact with the earth, with the ground, with what supports you from underneath. So feeling that contact. Pausing and sensing. It all starts there. So pausing and sensing. What's the simplest thing to sense at first? It's probably just your body's contact on what you're sitting on. Maybe you're also aware of your breath. Feeling your breath, feeling more of your body, like maybe throat, chest, stomach. the inner areas of your body. Maybe you can say a hello to yourself in there. Who are you saying hello to? Yourself. And your emotional states, your feelings. How are you right now? And especially, is this a moment when you're aware of feeling vulnerable in any way? Or maybe that word vulnerable doesn't help, but there might be some other way you're feeling that's what you're carrying some hard times with you today, perhaps. Are you? Maybe there's somebody who's got some bad news about health, you or someone in your family. Maybe you can feel your worry about that. Maybe there's something you're longing to be or do, and it just feels like that's not possible. Maybe peace, being at peace feels elusive, and instead there's a sense of agitation. Maybe there's anxiety. You might feel angry about something. What if we make a welcome for everything? No matter what, no matter what you're feeling right now, see if it's okay to say, yeah, that's here. What would happen then? Yeah, that's here. I'm here. I feel it. That's how I'm feeling right now. And you may enjoy using this language that I like to use, which is, I am sensing something in me. I'm sensing something in me, feeling. I'm sensing something in me, feeling worried. I'm sensing something in me, feeling scared. I'm sensing something in me, feeling overwhelmed. Try that language. And then notice what happens when you do. And today we're especially interested in situations that require courage. Because if they require courage, they probably have some vulnerability involved. So there's something going on for you, perhaps. Let's have a look. That asks of you, that asks of you to step up, to be a little more. It's a challenge of some kind. Just checking if that's right. Checking if that's right. A friend of mine is coming to visit from a long way away next month. There's things I need to do, I want to do to get ready for her visit. But at first I was in a low mood. I was tired. I was like, oh, do I have to? So I say hello to that. And what I've learned is that if I scold myself, if I get taken over by a part of me that says, you shouldn't feel that way. This is your friend. You should be willing, In other words, if the shoulds come in, that just makes things worse. Doesn't help. My hardworking should parts really want to help, but they don't. So notice right now, if you like, if you feel that kind of need to be more, to make an effort to step beyond that that whole courage thing. And yet, really, do I have to? And does a should start going? You shouldn't. You should. Let's just let's just be aware of that. Let's just be aware of that. Because what we can do instead of starting the battle between I don't want to and you should, what we can be aware of instead of that battle is hello, I notice. I'm aware. I'm sensing something wanting to just give up, and I'm sensing something wanting to push. And I'm here. I'm sensing both of them. I am the space where both of them can be as they are. Try that. It's radical. So that's the process we're in right now. And I'm just going to take a peek at the chat because I believe some people have been sharing about what's coming up for you, which is really great. I love that. Kay writes, I'm in an action block, procrastinating and collapsed. Oh, I know what that's like, hon. Feeling overwhelmed, anxious, angry, ungrounded, confused, scared, vulnerable. Yes. Yeah. Good for you for noticing those feelings, for acknowledging them. And Kay also writes, I'm in the right place at the right time being here. Good. Maybe you're feeling the support that we offer this community here, that you get to have those feelings and you get to be the way you are. And something amazing happens when we get to have our feelings, when we are the space where these feelings are okay. Something, it might feel like a little thing, but something happens then. Thanks for sharing. Allison writes, I'm saying hello to the vulnerability about a health thing. Yeah. And now sensing the courage to stay in the present and not race ahead to what if. Oh, yeah, I know that one so well. Seeing how quickly felt senses shift and how amazing that is. It is, isn't it? Yeah, health things, I know that so well. A test result comes back funny and then another test is needed. And how easily my thoughts can go to what if, what if, what if. And I simply notice that. I simply notice that something is very worried and I'm aware of that. Life is still hard. We're still vulnerable. Life still requires courage. It's a certain kind of courage. It's the courage to simply be me. Amanda writes, I'm feeling exhausted and tired, feeling the should of doing some exercise and struggling with what's right in this moment. Okay, so you're noticing a should going on. And that's already powerful, just to notice. Because what can feel hard and increase tiredness is to kind of be caught in, yeah, I should, but I don't want to. Yeah, I know. I'm bad because not doing it. Like if we're caught in that, it's hard. And we're this much away from being aware, and that's all we need. I mean, we need more than that, of course, but that's all we need for this process is to notice. And as I see what people are writing in the chat, what you're doing right now with the space we're making here together, yes, you're noticing and becoming aware. First step, pausing. Second step, noticing. Third step is a non-step. Do not judge what you're noticing. Well, it's hard to do a negative, isn't it? So what I say is, if you find yourself judging what you're noticing, notice that. Now you're good. Now you're good again. You're noticing something, wanting to judge what you're noticing. Yeah. Yeah, Donald says, I note that people use vulnerable, the word vulnerable, in many ways. It could be vulnerable like open, and it could be vulnerable like weak without protection. That's interesting, isn't it? And isn't it both? Like if I were, like, say, completely invulnerable, protected, it would be a kind of being walled off. Nothing would come in. How would that be to live that way? Pretty much impossible. Every time you take a breath, you're taking in the environment. Every time you exhale, you're releasing something. Life is a rhythm that has vulnerability naturally in it. Many of us have been through hard experiences in the past that made vulnerability scary. It felt like I got hurt because I was vulnerable. And when we're younger, kids try to make sense of the world. We believe that's why I got hurt, because I let it in. I wasn't strong enough. That isn't why you got hurt. You got hurt because something didn't happen the way it was supposed to. Somebody else had been hurt, and they hurt. They passed the hurt along. Vulnerable is natural. That's how I'm seeing it right now anyway. I'm open to your opinions about it. Lily is sharing something about her son's health. She writes, I'm sensing something in me feeling so sad and terrified about my son's health. Something else not wanting to face the whole thing. Something not wanting him to have to go through this. And I am here, Lily writes, with all of these parts, letting them know I know they're there and I'm with them now, and I get how hard all this is. How beautiful. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. And that doesn't make it easy. It just makes it possible. It makes it real. I'm here. I'm not abandoning myself. This is about presence, company, being with yourself, even when it's hard. And when you acknowledge it's hard, it becomes a little less hard. Gwendolyn writes, something is feeling vulnerable and afraid of failing. And something says, if I don't try, I won't fail. So you're aware of that, Gwendolyn, and then you let it know you hear it. I really hear. There's so much not wanting to fail that you feel it would be better not to even try. So this is also about self-compassion. Everything in us is trying to help us. On the one hand, we have judging, and judging ourselves and others really comes from a scared place. It comes from anxiety. I can't let this happen. I can't let a part of me give up. I gotta push. That's a scared part. You can have compassion for it being scared. Ruth writes, I'm feeling vulnerable and scared because in a group where I felt really comfortable and safe, someone recently brought up a controversial issue where I think I feel the opposite of him. And now I feel scared and unwelcome and unsafe. Oh, that sounds really hard. And certainly that is liable to happen these days when there are these huge issues that I'm going to say there are good people on both sides of, because there are bad people on both sides of. And feelings come up strongly about these things. And can we feel safe in a group with someone who feels the opposite? Or can we feel safe in a group where the issue is even talked about because of the potential for feeling judged and blamed and attacked? I don't know the answer. I want to acknowledge how hard that is. Ruth writes, I don't know how to handle it. Part of me feels like I just need to leave the group. Yeah, I can hear that. It's difficult. I don't have an answer. I mean, thoughts come to my mind, like maybe there's one person you could talk to privately and see if they'd support you in proposing that certain subjects not get discussed. But even doing that would be talking about it. I have no answers. But anyway, that's not my job to give answers. What we do here is make space for the feelings. And that sounds tough. So we're going to make a space for it being tough. Charlotte writes, feeling vulnerable causes anxiety, at least at first. And Andrea writes, courage is feeling strong at the moment. And glad to feel something in me is vulnerable. Yes, very good. And thank you for the people who are writing kind things in the chat as well. What we're doing here together is making a space of acceptance. And isn't that interesting that really accepting isn't as common as perhaps it should be? Wouldn't that be nice if letting it be okay to feel how we feel were the norm? It would be something we could count on, would be something we could assume when we go around the world. I want to live in that world, which starts right here. It starts here with us. That you can say inside yourself, I'm sensing something in me feeling. So I was telling you about this article that I wasn't starting to write because something in me was feeling, turns out something in me was feeling vulnerable about writing it, much less publishing it. But I did start writing it the other day. And then I noticed that felt good. It felt like, yeah, it felt like stepping up. Oh, and I also did the things I need to do to prepare for my friend coming next month. That feels wonderful. What's the difference between, oh, I can't, it's just too hard, and I'm doing it, I did it? I don't know. I think it's almost like magic. That I did have a focusing session with my focusing partner and got in touch with and shared those feelings of kind of being a bit overwhelmed by all the things that need to get done. Feelings of it, feeling under pressure, feeling under attack inside, not doing enough, should do more. Shared them. Next day I did the stuff. So there is a kind of magic in acknowledging what is. That's something I just know is true. Aja writes, I've sprained my hip and knee. Oh, and mostly it's not too bad during the day, but the nights are very painful. That's hard. I have a friend coming I can't cope with the work needed to make it all clean and lovely. I can observe the different parts. And as I write this, I see that accepting all this gives me a big breath. Yes, that's right. Feel free to write in the chat. Notice what happens when you write it here. This is an accepting space. Dieter writes, making a space for feelings acceptance with empathy sounds like a base for inner courage. Yeah. And we remember that courage is not the lack of fear. Courage, what does courage feel like to me? It feels like remembering I can do it. I am someone who can do things. I can do this too. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know if it'll be any good. But I can do it. I can make the calls, or I can do the writing, and then we'll see what happens. So it's interesting. That reminds me of what, who was saying it? Yeah, Allison was talking about the what ifs about the health thing. So included in all this is a kind of not knowing, being okay with not knowing the outcome. Like if something in me doesn't want to do it until I know the exact outcome, that might be another barrier to getting it done. Or in some cases, maybe Hodge's case, accepting that I'm not going to be able to do what I would otherwise do if I weren't injured. Let's just say again what we're saying today. It's a familiar message if you've been with me before. We're pausing. And when we pause, we feel the body, including the easiest thing to feel. And for me, that's my body's contact on what I'm sitting on. Then I come into the inner area of my body and I notice how I am. And this is sort of like a safe space, right? I want my inner self to be a safe space where any feelings can come and they are not going to get shamed or scolded or blamed or pushed away. It may be hard at first, but with practice, it starts to become that kind of safe space in me. And whatever I become aware of, I say hello to. Love the word hello because it's not, hey, move in and stay forever. It's just hello. And then I am sensing something in me is feeling that way, and that's okay. It can be there. Lovely to be with you again every month. Usually it's every month. We do this. Yeah. We make this space. We show up. Mm-hmm. And we'll see you again next month, I hope. Thanks so much for everybody who was contributing by your presence, by your listening in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be seeing you. Remember, pause, acknowledge, listen. Bye.